If you've built your SaaS using an AI coding agent like Claude or Cursor, you've probably reached that one moment where the app finally works. Users can sign up, log in, and maybe even use the core features. And then you hit this one thing every builder eventually has to figure out. How do you actually get paid? Now, if you're building for an Indian audience, you'd probably reach for Razorpay. But the moment you want customers from the US, Europe, or basically even outside of India, Razorpay alone doesn't really cut it. And neither does just bolting on PayPal. That's usually where people get stuck because now you're not just thinking about API keys and webhooks, you're thinking about VAT in Europe, sales tax in the US, GST chargebacks, and a dozen compliance headaches you never signed up for. That's exactly the gap Dodo Payments is built to fill. And honestly, once you understand what it's actually doing behind the scenes, I'd go as far as saying it might be one of the best payment providers out there right now, specifically for digital products and SaaS. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how I set it up so Claude can handle almost the entire integration for you, whether you're selling a one-time digital product or running a full subscription SaaS. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel as I'll be sharing more practical guides on building AI-powered apps, launching SaaS products, and using AI coding agents to turn ideas into real businesses. So let's get started. Dodo Payments works differently. Dodo is what's called a merchant of record or an MOR. Instead of just processing the payment, Dodo actually becomes the legal seller of your product. Dodo shows up on your customer's bank statement instead of you. And because Dodo is the legal seller, Dodo also takes the job of calculating, collecting, and filing taxes across more than 190 countries, absorbing fraud and chargeback risk, and staying compliant with local regulations so you don't have to. So now let's get set up. Head over to dodopayments.com and create your account. I've created one already. Here's something that's genuinely different from Razorpay. You don't have to sit around waiting for KYC to finish before you can start building. With Razorpay, your account is basically frozen until verification clears, and that can take from hours to days. But with Dodo, you get access to your dashboard immediately, and you can start building and testing your integration in the test mode from day one without having to wait for your KYC to get completed. You will still need to complete the identity and business verification before you can accept real payments and receive payouts. You'll pick your account type, whether it is an individual or a registered entity, and Dodo is genuinely built to support solo builders who don't have a registered company yet. Your business details then go through a short compliance review before your account is fully approved for live payments and payouts. But before we touch any code, there's one concept you need to lock in, which is the test mode and the live mode. You'll see a toggle for this right on your dashboard on the left side bottom corner here, and think of it like test mode is your sandbox. You get a separate set of test API keys and test card numbers, and you can run through your entire checkout flow without a single real rupee or a dollar moving anywhere. This is where you'll do all your development and testing with Claude. And the live mode is what actually processes real customer payments once your account is verified and you are ready to launch. And just like Razorpay, this is the part which trips people up. The test mode and the live mode in Dodo are two completely separate environments, different API keys, different webhooks, and different products. Anything you build in test mode has to be recreated or copied over into live mode before it will work for real customers. Dodo actually gives you a copy to live mode button on your test product, so you're not rebuilding anything from scratch but just copying what you built in test. So firstly, you need your API key, and for that you need to head to the developer drop down, click API keys. Now you will have to generate your API key. For that you'll have to click add API key and give your API key any name. This is what your backend uses to authenticate every request to Dodo, so it should live in an environment variable and never touch your front-end code. One thing to pay attention here is when you generate a key, you'll see a toggle for enable write access. Leave it unchecked, and that key is read only now. It can fetch data like payments and customers but can't create or change anything. If you're letting your Claude build checkout sessions and manage subscriptions for you, you'll need to turn on the write access. So now I'll hit the create button, and as you can see, my API key has been created and I've copied my API key successfully. Now second thing which you need to set up is the product itself, and this is where Dodo genuinely saves you a step compared to Razorpay. In Razorpay, if you're doing subscriptions, you first create a plan and then create a subscription of that plan and juggle two different IDs. In Dodo, you just create one product. So for that you need to go to product and go on to product over here, and once this screen is visible to you, all you have to do is click add product from here and then enter the details of your product. Let's say sample testing product, brand is I'll keep the tax category as SaaS right now, and you will see that as I enter the details over here, it automatically gets updated on the plan here. For the product description, I'll be writing this is a sample product. So this is what I'm going to add as the product image right now, but this is just a sample. And then you come to the pricing. So now when you come to pricing, you can select whether it's a one-time, it's a subscription, or it's a usage-based billing. So let's say if it was a one-time access, you would enter the price here. Let's say $20, and if you want to offer a discount percentage, you can offer that as well. And you can also mention whether this pricing is inclusive of tax or exclusive. And then all you have to do is scroll down. If your product offers credits, you can add them here as well. And if you are offering any entitlements to your customers as well, then you can can select whatever applies to your product, and then all you have to do is add product over here. Now this has become a one-time product. Now similarly, if I were to create a subscription one, I come again to the subscription part where you can see I can enter the price, let's say $20, and from here I can select the billing frequency, which means whether I want to charge it on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. So let's keep it for every month now, and again the same thing, whether it is tax inclusive or no, and proceed to add a product, and this will create a subscription product as well. And as you can see, pricing type here is subscription and this is a one-time payment. Now for Claude to understand what product it has to link to your app, all you need to do is go on to three dots over here and then copy the product ID, and if you select copy to live mode, these products which we have created in the test mode right now will also get copied to the live mode. However, the product ID for the live mode would be different, and you will have to go to the live mode and then copy it from there. So this is what is required by Claude. Or else you can also share the payment link directly, because Claude can copy the product ID from here. So now you have your API key and your product ID as well. And now third is the webhook, and this matters just as much here as with any other payment provider. When a customer pays, your app shouldn't just assume it worked because the browser redirected somewhere nice. Dodo sends your backend an actual signed notification confirming whether the payment succeeded, failed, or a subscription got renewed or got cancelled. And your backend should decide what happens next based on that signal and not the front end. To set this up, all you have to do is go to the developers tab again and go to webhooks, and here you will see that you have the add endpoint button which you have to click, and here you have to add the link or the URL for your webhook API, and it is going to be something in this format. So all you have to do is copy that and paste it over here and write a sample description, and then what you have to do, select the events which you want Dodo to notify your server. For example, if a checkout is abandoned, if it's credited, if there's any dispute, etc. Select whatever you want, or you can ask Claude itself to tell you what all to select, and then click create over here. So then it will create a webhook for you, and then it will give you a webhook signing secret which you should click to copy and then give it to Claude so that it can apply it in your app as well. So now after you have got your webhook, your API key and your product ID, the rest is surprisingly quick. Claude already understands Dodo's SDK, checkout sessions, webhook verification and subscription handling. So instead of writing all of that by hand, you are really just feeding it the credentials and the shape of what you're selling. However, there is one quick security habit before you deploy. If you have shared your API keys or webhook secrets with Claude, generate fresh ones once you're ready to launch and swap them in your production environment. These credentials are meant to be kept private, but since Dodo lets you rotate them at any time, meaning you can change them later on, sharing them with Claude during development isn't a huge risk. The old ones simply stop working the moment you regenerate the new ones. Claude will usually tell you not to share these keys in the first place, and that's a good practice actually, but if you do, rotating them afterwards closes the door completely. And that's really the whole thing. I've linked a complete step-by-step guide in the description that walks through every screen inside Dodo dashboard, so you're not guessing where anything is. And if you get stuck anywhere along the way, I've left my email in the description too. Feel free to reach out and I'll help however I can. If you found this useful, subscribe, because we're going to keep building production-ready AI SaaS apps in the future videos, from auth to payments to deployment and everything in between. And if you're still figuring out how to build a full stack app itself before you even get payments, check out this video on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.